Can everybody hear me okay? Good morning, everyone. Do you know what, Philip? I'm still stuck on the fact you said it's sunny. I'm freezing. I'm freezing cold up here, coming from London. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here, to be in the midst of such resilient people, whether you've been directly affected or indirectly affected, or even just volunteering for the charity and working with us. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And I wanted to start this by saying that I speak naturally fast, but I'm going to try my very best to slow down. And I'm even more mindful of the fact that I know that encephalitis can sometimes impact processing speed. So if at any point, if I'm going too fast for you, just give me a wave and I'll try my best to slow down. But hi, I'm Diane. Like Philippa said, I'm a volunteer here at Encephalitis International. And something that I've had the honor to do over the past 2 months is work with our young people, do a young person's workshop. And that has really allowed me to have the opportunity to reflect on my journey and also understand theirs. And 3 topics mainly: navigating encephalitis, having it, and overcoming any limitations and barriers that came with it. So in my case, I had autoimmune encephalitis, so my own immune system was attacking my brain. And that happened when I was 15, well, just about turning 16 as well. So I'm going to be sharing with you the journey of what that was like. And before I do that, I really like to reflect on where I am at that point. So that's 2018. So I know on this day, about 6 years ago now, I'm lying in a room unable to see, and I'm in extreme pain. But how did we get here? So when I think about having encephalitis, I really remember what life was like before. I remember the ambition of wanting to be a pediatrician. That's actually in all of my medical videos, like when the doctors come and ask me, I want to be a pediatric doctor. I remember just having a little brother in April, and I remember coming back from a sports tour, a netball tour in Spain. I came back from that at the end of July, and then August 1st, my ears started to ring. I started to have unbearable pain in my ears. I'd sleep with headphones in my ears, and you're not supposed to do that. I'd be up Googling, talking to Dr. Google, trying to find out what's wrong with me. And then eventually I went into the GP. And they said, you know what, Diane, you've got a double ear infection. And then they gave me antibiotics. And I'm not a scientist, but I know antibiotics don't treat viruses, or from what I was told at 15, so I didn't take them. And I'm so glad that I didn't take them, because that would have masked what was about to come. So after a month of having unbearable pain, it progressed into headaches. And I remember going into A&E and being given a codeine tablet at 15, and I'm now allergic to that. I remember literally saying, I feel like I'm seeing stars, but I still went into school. I remember having to do, I like to loosen my jaw because I was in so much pain. And then eventually, after my 3rd attempt of going to the emergency department, my aunt took me to where she works, and they did a blood test there. And they found one of many abnormalities to come from my journey. My CK enzyme level was, I think, 4,800, when the normals is in the 100 range. And that's how much pain I was in. I remember laying down on a bed with 8 pillows, literally drugged up, just trying to be comfortable. So I thought I'd be treated in hospital for about a week or 2, and then a weekend, maybe even 5 days. I remember going to the toilet and saying, "Are the lights switched on?" I had completely lost my vision. So my journey is quite unique in the sense that it wasn't just encephalitis I had muscle inflammation and high intracranial pressures. So at that point, that's what they were treating, trying to find out, oh, what's going on? Why has she lost her vision? I remember having my first MRI scan and breaking down because I was told I was going to have that, because just a week before in biology class, I was learning about MRIs. And I think the one thing that you think they're used for at 15 is to detect tumors. So I remember being so upset, but doing it. And I remember my aunt telling me, it's okay, I'm going to have my knee scanned and an MRI as well, trying to cheer me on. And I did it. And so if I'm just going to fast forward to what the encephalitis was like, what I remember having it, I don't really remember having encephalitis, but I remember Tuck biscuits, I remember 7-Up, I remember chicken tikka masala, I remember apple crumble, and I remember Capital FM radio. And funny enough, that radio is what led me to this charity. I remember when I started uni, I downloaded some songs that I remember listening to because I couldn't see, all I could do was listen to music. And I called up the charity and I said, you know what? I've just been listening to music and I'm so privileged to have made such a full recovery and I want to help. As much as I've made a full recovery, there was a time when I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat, and I couldn't see. So I'm so glad to be here now. Amongst having encephalitis, like I said, I had high intracranial pressure, and that's when the fluid in your brain is higher than usual, so another abnormality. So the usual is like 15 to 25. I remember a time when I went into hospital and it was 104. And my doctor looked at me and said, Diane, how are you still here? How can you even see me? How could I even see him? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So I spent 6 months being treated for encephalitis. 4 months for encephalitis, about 2 months for everything beforehand. And I was treated with plasma exchange and steroids and all that stuff. But honestly, I'm not here to tell you the story. I'm here to tell you my story. And my story really lies in what it was like navigating encephalitis. I remember waking up and my OT, blink twice, Diane, if you can hear me, and I'd blink. And she said, what date are we in? And I didn't answer because I couldn't speak at that time. And she said 2019. And I was like, 2019? Because the last thing I remember saying a few days before my 16th birthday was, I'm not crazy, to my doctor. And then waking up in February of 2019, and that was November. How did I get here? And I think a lot of us might experience that in this room, might have experienced that the memory loss or the disconnect. And I experienced that too. So fast forward to March, I get discharged from hospital, go to rehab, and I spent a couple weeks there. And I remember the natural, innate, priority of academics arising in me and saying, I want to sit my GCSEs. And I did, but a limited amount, but I sat them and I came out with A stars, and that was amazing. But then I feel like that was a bit of a haze, because then in the November of 2019, after getting my GCSE results in the August, I landed back into hospital. And again, with high intracranial pressures. And I think that's when I really learned the severity of what had happened to me, a brain injury. So that was the first out of 7 times going back into hospital. And another aspect of navigating encephalitis, which was highlighted to me, was the subtle identity crisis that you can face. What do you do when the very thing that makes you feel like feels unattainable? The ambition of wanting to be a doctor but failing chemistry and biology, how is that even going to be possible? So I remember in that phase just feeling, very disconnected from myself and feeling disconnected from everyone, which kind of led to, emotional outbursts, which some of us might have experienced, and honestly broken relationships. But I remember a specific day. I remember November 16th, 2020. I remember a specific day. So I was standing in front of my biology teacher and I said to her, please, could you raise my predicted grades? I really want to go to university and I'm going to do psychology. And she looked at me and she said, if you improve, and what used to happen in A-levels was I could go into hospital, this is COVID time as well, I could go into hospital for 2 weeks, come out on the Monday, and have to sit the exam with the rest of the class on a Wednesday. Of course I'm going to fail that. And I remember looking at her and I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And I think that's the aspect of combating self-doubt. And so what I really want to say to people is any opportunity that you have to prove yourself, do it. Because that's what's going to allow you to build up that self-belief again. So I did it, and I got a C. And she looked at, no, I got a B actually. And I said to her, will you raise my predicted grades? And she was like, no. So what did I do? I called Mama D. I called my mum. And she came in, and she helped me, and I got those grades raised. But what I'm trying to highlight there is the importance of support, the importance of parents advocating for their children. So navigating that, navigating health anxiety, waking up every day, checking my phone, can I see? If I can't, here I come, an hour journey to St. Thomas's to be treated. So that's what it was like navigating encephalitis. And when I think about how I overcame the limitations to do the things that I do now, you might have seen my speaker's flyer and I say, yes, I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm a final year undergraduate student studying psychology with Cognitive Neuroscience. And I'm an encephalitis support volunteer and I'm a public speaker. How do I do all of that? And it came with that one decision. Not allowing it to define me, but I will allow it to refine me. I found the why in what happened. I found areas to be grateful for. Like I said, I can see you and I can talk to you and I can walk and I can eat orally, which is good. So I find gratitude in those areas. I think sometimes it's so easy to remember what it has took from you, but in any shape or form, remember what you took back. And another thing that really helped me with overcoming encephalitis is a single word: belief. Belief in God, belief in myself, and other people's belief in me. I think especially when it comes to God, I really learned that if I can't trust my own body who's going to attack me, surely I can trust in a higher power, which I did. So I am so thankful to God. I'm also really thankful to my mum. She's my source of strength. Hi, Mum. And I'm so thankful to my dad. My dad, he's watching online now, looking after my siblings. He gave me his life when I was losing mine. My dad came up to the hospital, moved out of the house, moved up to the charity home and stayed for 4 months, every single day. Even the things that I can't remember, he was there. And he remembers things that I don't remember. And you know what, Dad? I'm sorry you had to see some things that were so painful, and I really love you for sticking through. I'm thankful to my siblings. They're amazing. Hey, Britt and Alex. I'm thankful to my friends who really allowed me to integrate back into society, whether it's downloading the new songs on my phone or telling me what has happened whilst I've been gone. So I'm really thankful to them. Thankful to my amazing aunts, hi Auntie T, and my uncle, Uncle Wale. Thank you so much. My Auntie Amma, my amazing family, my cousins, dad's side, mum's side, and most especially to Prophetess Elizabeth. She is my anchor, and I'm so thankful for her. And I'm thankful to Evelina London. I actually had the honor to return there as a placement student and work there for this past year, so that was great. And I'm thankful to the charity. Thank you all for what you do. Thanks, Philippa. No worries.
It feels without, there is a lot of this, so everyone was doing this. Amazing. Thank you.
Do I stable questions?
Yes, please. Just wanted to say, from my own hearing that story, it's just fantastic. Thank you. And the fact that this was during a pandemic as well, just how did that?
Well, I had encephalitis in 2018, came out in 2019. I think the pandemic, I didn't realize why they were sending me so many messages to get the jabs, but I didn't know I was on a priority list. I'd say it was okay. I think I was more distracted with my health than anything else, so the pandemic didn't really affect it, really.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Fantastic. Okay. Any questions from anybody in the audience today, or observations or comments? Fabulous over there.